What would you do if you discovered that the force that frightened you most doesn't want to destroy you, but to conquer you? What if the most intelligent enemy in the world isn't chasing you to break you, but to possess you? Today, we'll uncover the best-kept secret of the inner battle. He doesn't want to destroy you. He wants you. Stay with me until the end, because there's a moment, and it could happen now, when you realize that your greatest threat isn't destruction, but the silent seduction of something that wants to appropriate your strength. Imagine you're in a dark labyrinth. You feel a presence behind you. Warm breath, soft footsteps. You run, but the presence doesn't accelerate. It just walks, confident that you won't escape. You think, he wants to kill me. But suddenly, a voice whispers, I won't kill you. I will love you in a way you've never known. This is the most intelligent enemy. It doesn't attack with violence. It seduces with promises of belonging. The truth is this: the enemy doesn't want your deaths. He wants your possession. He doesn't want you to cease to exist. He wants you to exist, but under his control. He doesn't want you to stop fighting. He wants you to fight for something that isn't yours. He doesn't want you to stop loving. He wants you to love in a way that empties you. This is the great inversion. That is not destruction, but possession disguised as love. How many times have you felt protected by someone who, in fact, was limiting your potential? A toxic relationship that you thought was love, but was merely possession. A secure job that you thought was stability, but was actually imprisonment. A comfortable routine that you called peace, but was imprisonment. The intelligent enemy doesn't take you to a battlefield. He takes you to a beautiful garden, where the flowers are poisonous and the paths are labyrinths that always lead back to the same place. Stolen identity. Have you ever noticed that at some point you stopped being yourself and started being what others wanted you to be? This isn't intentional malice. It's the silent work of the enemy. He doesn't say, you're weak. He whispers, you're strong enough to do this for me. He doesn't say, don't trust yourself. He says, trust me to guide you. And little by little, your identity dissolves, and you become a shadow of the person you once dreamed of being. But there's a remedy for this. The question that shatters the illusion. In any moment of doubt, ask yourself, does this strengthen me or empty me? If the answer is empty, you're dealing with possession disguised as love. If the answer is strengthen, you're dealing with true love. Now, Tori, the sub-niche of the silent will. The most intelligent enemy doesn't want your defeat. He wants you to believe that defeat is your choice. He doesn't say, you can't. He says, he whispers, you don't want to. He doesn't attack your ability. He attacks your will. And so you convince yourself you're weak, when in fact you're being manipulated to feel weak. The key here is to recognize your will isn't weak. It's being directed. The moment you realize you are not fighting destruction, but possession, you're not being attacked from without. You're being seduced from within. And in that moment, You have two choices: surrender to the illusion or declare, "My strength is mine, and I choose to whom I give it." If this chapter has made you question who's truly in charge of your life, comment 111 to seal your commitment to authenticity. Like this video so it reaches anyone who needs a warning about silent seduction. What would you do if you discovered that every step you took in the right direction was actually a step into a trap? What if the world's most intelligent enemy doesn't lead you to destruction, but guides you to a garden of illusions where you voluntarily surrender? Today, we'll reveal the most dangerous method of possession: silent seduction, where you believe you're choosing, but in fact, you're being chosen. Stay with me until the end, because there comes a moment, and it could be now, when you realize that your greatest battle is not against the external enemy, but against the very illusion that you're in control. Have you ever wondered why some decisions that seemed right at the time became traps? Why relationships you thought were safe turned into prisons? Why projects you started with enthusiasm became burdens? This isn't a coincidence. It's the strategy of the intelligent enemy. He doesn't attack violently. He builds an illusion of security, where you feel in control. But in reality, you're being led exactly where he wants you to go. The illusion of choice. The most intelligent enemy doesn't deprive you of options. He offers you many, all within an invisible limit. You think him choosing freely, but all options lead to the same place. It's like being in a shopping mall. You can choose between 10 restaurants, but they all serve the same food. The enemy doesn't want you to stop choosing. He wants you to choose within his control. The first trap is the feeling of autonomy within a system that, in fact, isn't yours. The language of submission. The enemy doesn't say, "Obey." He asks, "Do you trust me?" He doesn't say, "You can't." He whispers, "You can do more." He doesn't demand obedience. He creates dependence through strategic praise. "You are so strong. Only you can do this. Without you, nothing works." These phrases aren't compliments. They are chains of confidence disguised as trust. The more you believe you're valued, the more you surrender. The enemy's language is always one of apparent respect, but it's designed to nullify your autonomy. The slow erosion. The enemy doesn't want you to realize you're being controlled. It acts slowly, adjusting its limits daily. Today, it asks for a little more of your time. Tomorrow, a little more of your energy. The day after tomorrow, a little more of your identity. You don't notice the change because it's gradual. Like water carving stone, your natural resistance dissolves because there's no clear now is too much moment. It's the law of just a little more, which, repeated, becomes everything. Ko Elishi, one Bakritel, the test of autonomy in any relationship or project. Ask this question: if I say no today, what will happen? If the answer is pressure, guilt, or a veiled threat, you're dealing with possession disguised as trust. If the answer is respect for your decision, you're dealing with true love. Autonomy is the measure of possession. Those who love you respect your no. Those who possess you fear your no. The moment you realize you're not being attacked, but seduced, you're not being led into a battlefield. You're being invited to a dinner where the main course is your identity. And in that moment, you have two options. Keep eating or leave the table. Choice isn't about the person or the situation. It's about who you allow to access your strength. If this chapter made you see traps you weren't even aware of, comment 222 to seal your commitment to autonomy. Like this video so it reaches those who are confusing possession with connection. Subscribe and activate the bell for the next chapter. Share it with someone who is surrendering to an illusion of security. What happens when you discover that the feeling of being special is actually a trap for your possession? What if the most intelligent enemy in the world doesn't make you feel weak, but rather last, creating an illusion that you are different, stronger, more deserving, precisely to isolate you from the rest and possess you without resistance? Today, we'll reveal how the feeling of being chosen is often the most dangerous path to your loss of autonomy. Stay with me until the end, for there comes a moment, and it could be now, when you realize you're not the chosen one. You're the target of a seduction disguised as destiny. Have you ever felt like you were the only person who could solve a problem? That you had a unique purpose? That you were destined for something greater? This feeling may seem empowering, but it's the clever enemy's most sophisticated strategy. He doesn't want you to feel weak. He wants you to feel too special to distrust. And it's precisely in this illusion of superiority that he builds the strongest chains. The illusion of uniqueness. The enemy doesn't tell you you're weak. He whispers, "No one else can do it like you." He doesn't let you doubt your ability. He makes you believe that ability is your only identity. You stop being a person who does something and become the thing you do. I'm the leader. Yeah, the leader. I'm the healer. I'm the savior. And in the process, you isolate yourself because you believe no one else can understand your burden. This is not leadership. It is possession disguised as destiny. The last chance bond. The most intelligent enemy doesn't abandon you. He makes you believe you are your last hope. If you leave, everything will fall apart. Without you, we have no future. You are the only person who understands. This phrase is not a compliment. It is a chain. You feel indispensable, but in reality, you are being imprisoned by your own pity. The truth is this: the world survives without you. The illusion of being indispensable is the greatest trap of possession. Doubt as a friend. The enemy doesn't want you to doubt yourself. He wants you to doubt the world. He whispers, "They don't understand you. They don't deserve you. Only I know your true potential." You stop seeking genuine connections and isolate yourself from those who understand you, even if that person is exploiting you. Doubt is not the enemy. Misdirected doubt is. When you doubt the whole world, put trust in one person, you're giving your power away. Now, the remedy, the multiplicity test. In any relationship or project, ask yourself, can I share this with others and still be valued? If the answer is no, you're dealing with a possession disguised as connection. True connection doesn't isolate you. It connects you to more people, not fewer. The moment you realize you're not the chosen one, but the selected one, you're not special by merit. You're special because someone decided you're the right person to possess. The illusion of being chosen is the most dangerous of all because it makes you believe you're in control, when, in fact, you're on a fast track to prison. If this chapter has made you question whether you're being isolated under the guise of being special, comment 333 to seal your commitment to genuine connection. Like this video so it reaches those who are confusing possession with purpose. Subscribe and ring the bell for the next chapter. What would you do if you discovered that your gratitude, the one you thought freed you, is actually the strongest chain holding you back? What if the world's most intelligent enemy didn't make you feel ungrateful, but instead eternally indebted, creating a debt you can never repay? Today, we'll reveal how gratitude, when misdirected, becomes the most effective tool for your possession. Stay with me until the end, because there comes a moment, and it could be now, when you realize you're not being grateful. You're being imprisoned by a debt that never existed. Have you ever felt obligated to thank someone for something that, deep down, was a favor you didn't want? Someone who saved your life, but now you have to live as if your life belonged to them. Someone who gave you a chance, and now you have to prove daily that you deserve it. This isn't gratitude. It's possession disguised as generosity. The intelligent enemy doesn't make you feel ungrateful. It's possession disguised as generosity. He makes you feel eternally indebted. And in that debt, you lose the autonomy to choose what's right for you. The debt that never ends. The enemy doesn't want you to pay your debt. He wants you to carry it forever. He whispers, "You owe me," not as a one-off, but as a permanent identity. You owe me for everything I've done for you. You owe me for saving you. You owe me for giving you a chance. This phrase isn't a reminder. It's a chain. You are no longer a person who owes something. You are the debt itself. And as long as you define yourself by that debt, you cease to exist as an individual. Forced gratitude. The enemy doesn't want you to give thanks freely. He wants you to give thanks under duress. He creates situations where you have to give thanks so as not to appear ungrateful, even when his action was harmful. Thank you for warning you. Thank you for correcting you. Thank you for teaching you a lesson. You give thanks not because you're grateful, but because you fear being labeled ungrateful. This gratitude isn't free. It's a tribute to avoid punishment, the isolation of debt. The enemy doesn't want you to share your debt. He wants you to carry it alone. You stop seeking support from others because you believe no one else understands your debt. Only she understands me. Only she knows what I've done for me. No one else deserves my gratitude. This feeling of isolation is the greatest trap, because you lose sight of the fact that your debt is fictitious. Now, the remedy, the authentic gratitude test. In any relationship, ask yourself, if I don't give thanks, what will happen? If the response is pressure, guilt, or a veiled threat, you're dealing with possession disguised as gratitude. If the answer is respect for your choice, you are dealing with true love. Authentic gratitude has no expiration date. Forced gratitude is a debt that is never repaid. The moment you realize you are not being grateful, you are being controlled. You are not grateful for something that helped you. You are grateful for something that has imprisoned you. The debt is not real. It is an illusion created to keep you under control. And in that moment, you have two choices. Continue paying a debt that never existed, or declare, my gratitude is mine, and I choose to whom I give it. If this chapter has made you question whether your gratitude is holding you back, comment 444 to seal your commitment to authentic gratitude. What if your energy, which you believed you were investing in your dreams, was being diverted to fuel someone else's agenda? What if the most intelligent enemy in the world didn't stop you from fighting, but convinced you to fight the wrong battle, exhausting your strength in a meaningless conflict? Today, we're going to expose the tactic of distraction, where you think you're winning, but you're actually just dancing to someone else's tune. Stick with me until the end, because there's a moment, and it can arise now, when you realize you're not being defeated. You're just being used to serve a purpose that isn't yours. Have you ever felt exhausted, even after winning an argument, achieving a goal, or gaining a position? This is no coincidence. It's the clever enemy's strategy in action. He lets you win the smaller battles, so you lose the bigger war. He lets you climb the wrong mountain, so you never reach the true peak. The distraction of conflict. The enemy doesn't stop you from fighting. He offers you easy enemies to waste your energy on. A meaningless online fight, a family argument over a superficial topic, a work project that gets you nowhere, but consumes your week. You feel victorious for having won, but you don't realize that this victory has taken you away from what really matters. The trap is confusing noise with action, the quest for others' approval. The enemy knows that your internal validation is your greatest weapon, so he replaces it with a relentless pursuit of external approval. Show them who you are. Prove you're capable. Make them regret it. These phrases aren't encouragement. They're chains that bind you to the opinions of others. You become hostage to other people's validation, endlessly seeking the approval of people who, deep down, don't care about you. Your time, talent, and energy are consumed by the approval of people who aren't worth it. The myth of multitasking. The enemy wants you to believe you can do everything at once. He convinces you to take on 1,000 projects, respond to every message, and fulfill every request. You feel productive, but in reality, you're just scattering your energy in different directions, without focusing on anything that truly drives you. Truth is that multitasking is an illusion. Focus is the only tool capable of building something lasting. Now, the antidote, the alignment test. Faced with any invitation, challenge, or conflict, ask yourself, does this bring me closer or further away from my reforged vision? Write this vision down in a visible place. For each task to be accomplished, compare it to your true north. If there's no alignment, say a strategic no to whatever is diverting your energy. If this question makes you uncomfortable, investigate it. It may be that, on some level, you believe you don't deserve what you truly desire. We've reached the climax. Look, the moment you realize you're not being defeated. You're being used as a pawn in a game that isn't yours. From then on, you regain control of your energy and direct it toward what truly matters. If this chapter has helped you redirect your focus to what drives you, comment 555 to seal the commitment to alignment. Like this video to alert anyone who's wasting their energy on the wrong battlefield. Subscribe and activate the bell for the next stage of the journey. Share with someone you feel is burning out, fighting someone else's battle. What if your sense of belonging to an exclusive group were actually a prison door? What if the world's most intelligent enemy didn't attack you with armies, but invited you into a walled garden where you feel safe and special, but are actually completely isolated? Today, we'll reveal the most silent tactic of possession. Isolation disguised as community. Stay with me until the end, because there comes a moment, and it could be now, when you realize you're not being protected. You're being imprisoned in a bubble where only the enemy's voice can be heard. Have you ever felt part of something bigger? A circle of people who get you in a way no one else can. This sense of belonging is one of the deepest human needs. The intelligent enemy knows this. He doesn't isolate you with walls. He protects you. It isolates you with an embrace, creating a fortress of two, or a circle of the chosen, where loyalty to the group becomes more important than truth. Let's look at the first sub-niche, the fortress of us against the world. The enemy doesn't tell you you're alone. He whispers, they don't understand us. He creates a narrative of persecution, where your group is the victim and the rest of the world is the threat. Only we know the truth. They want to destroy us. Stay close to us for protection. This mentality doesn't create unity. It creates dependence. You stop seeking outside perspectives because you believe they are tainted. The isolation isn't physical. It's intellectual and emotional. You're in a room full of people, but you only trust those the enemy has approved. Second, sub-niche, the poison of superiority. The enemy convinces you that you are more evolved, more intelligent, or more spiritual than others. He doesn't isolate you with chains. He isolates you with a throne. You begin to look at people on the outside with pity or contempt. Poor things. They are still asleep. They haven't reached our level of consciousness. We can't mingle with them. This pride is your prison cell. It prevents you from learning from anyone because you believe you already know everything. The truth is that true knowledge is humble. Arrogance is the sound of isolation. Third sub-niche, the information echo chamber. The enemy controls what you read, what you hear, and who you talk to. He creates such a restricted information diet that your worldview becomes a distortion of reality. Everything that confirms the group's narrative is amplified. Everything that challenges it is ridiculed or hidden. You no longer have opinions of your own, and become the echoes of the enemy's voice. The echo chamber doesn't protect you, it blinds you. You are no longer in the world. You are in a simulation created to keep you docile and predictable. Now, the antidote. The third opinion test. When you feel tempted to accept an absolute truth within your group, take a break and actively seek a third perspective, someone from the outside with a different worldview, not to argue, but to listen. If your truth doesn't survive a gentle external gaze, it's not truth, it's dogma. Real strength doesn't fear scrutiny, it invites it. The moment you realize that the community that promised you belonging is actually a cult, you're not being loved, you're being indoctrinated. The sense of security is an illusion, and the chains are made of loyalty and superiority. In that moment, you understand that true connection doesn't isolate you, it expands you. If this chapter made you question the invisible walls around you, comment 666 to seal your commitment to true connection. Like this video so it reaches those stuck in a confirmation bubble. Subscribe and ring the bell for the next chapter. Share it with someone who believes they're better than others. What if the feeling of missing out on something important wasn't a wake-up call, but a hook to trap you in the wrong place? What if the world's most intelligent enemy did make you afraid of missing out, but rather fear of missing out, creating a false urgency to keep you running in circles? Today, we'll reveal how FOMO, fear of missing out, is actually a tool of possession disguised as an opportunity. Stay with me until the end, because there comes a moment, and it could be now, when you realize you're not missing out, you're being pulled into a trap of false urgency. Have you ever felt compelled to buy, to sign up, to participate, to say yes to everything for fear that if you don't act now, you'll miss out on something valuable? This isn't intuition. It's the clever enemy's strategy in action. They don't want you to miss out on the opportunity. They want you to lose control. False urgency is the lightest chain of all, because you believe you're choosing freely, when in fact, you're being manipulated by an invisible clock. Let's look at the first sub-niche. Manufactured urgency. The enemy doesn't create real opportunities. It creates the sensation that the opportunity is unique and fleeting. This ends in 24 hours. Last slots available. Exclusive offer for the first few. These phrases aren't about scarcity. They're about control. You stop evaluating whether something is truly important and start acting out of fear of losing, even if it's not part of your reforged vision. False urgency gets you nowhere. It keeps you where the enemy wants you to be. Second, sub-niche. Onziga will that lucky. Comparison as poison. The enemy doesn't want you to compare yourself to others. He wants you to feel behind them. He shows you images, stories, and achievements of people who are ahead, creating the illusion that you're wasting time. She's already bought the house, has already traveling. They've already achieved freedom. This comparison isn't inspiration. It's a trap. You stop celebrating your own pace and start desperately racing toward a finish line that isn't yours. Third subniche. What? The illusion of connection. The enemy convinces you that by following the crowd, you'll be connected. Join the group. Follow the trend. Don't be left out. This false connection isolates you from what really matters, because you're connected to the world, but disconnected from yourself. True connection isn't about being like everyone else. It's about being authentic, even if it means being alone for a while. Now, the antidote, the genuine urgency test. Faced with any offer, ask yourself, if I don't act now, what will happen? If the answer is nothing, the urgency is manufactured. If the answer is ill, lose something real. The urgency is genuine. The difference is in the consequence, not the pressure. Genuine urgency respects your time. Manufactured urgency demands your fear. We've reached the climax. The moment you realize you're not losing anything, you're taking the time to choose what truly matters. True freedom isn't about never missing an opportunity. It's about knowing which opportunity deserves your energy. At that moment, you stop chasing everything and start walking with intention. If this chapter made you question the urgency you're experiencing, comment 777 to seal your commitment to conscious choice. Like this video so it reaches those who are rushing without knowing where they're going. Subscribe and activate the bell for the next chapter. Share it with someone trapped in the illusion that losing something is worse than living without purpose. What if your sense of control was actually the greatest illusion you've ever created? What if the world's most intelligent enemy didn't make you feel powerless, but omnipotent, convincing you that everything depends on you, so that you can carry the weight of the world alone? Today, expose the most deceptive tactic of possession, the illusion of control. Stay with me until the end, because there comes a moment, and it could be now, when you realize you're not in control. You're being used like a puppet who believes he's the master. Have you ever felt responsible for everything and everyone? For your relationships, your work, your health, your spirituality? This feeling that everything depends on me is one of the most dangerous traps. The clever enemy knows that if he can convince you that you're the only one capable of solving everything, you will exhaust yourself trying to be everything to everyone. He doesn't want you to give up. He wants you to keep trying until you collapse. Let's look at the first subniche, the illusion of total autonomy. The enemy doesn't tell you you can't. He whispers you're the only one who can. He makes you believe that if something goes wrong, it's because you didn't do enough. If only you had been stronger. If only you had acted faster. If only you had taken better care. This narrative isn't empowerment. It's guilt disguised as responsibility. You stop trusting others and start believing that only you can do things right. This isn't strength. It's isolation. The second subniche, the burden of perfection. The enemy doesn't want you to make mistakes. He wants you to be afraid of them. He convinces you that if you make a mistake, everything will fall apart. I can't fail. Everything has to be perfect. If I make a mistake, I'll lose everything. This pursuit of perfection doesn't lead to excellence. It leads to paralysis. You stop acting out of fear of not being good enough. And in the process, you surrender control of your life to your own anxiety. Third sub-niche, the lie of self-confidence. The enemy doesn't want you to doubt yourself. He wants you to have false self-confidence based on external results. You're amazing when you succeed. You're powerful when you win. You're valuable when you're recognized. This self-confidence isn't real. It's fragile because it depends on external factors. When results fail, this self-confidence crumbles, and you're left feeling grounded. True self-confidence doesn't depend on anything outside of you. It's born of your inner integrity. Now, the antidote, the delegation test. Faced with any task, ask yourself, does this need to be done by me, or can I trust someone? If the answer is, I can trust someone, delegate. Delegation isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It frees you to focus on what truly matters and connects you with others in a genuine way. True autonomy isn't doing everything yourself. It's knowing how to choose who helps you. We've reached the climax. The moment you realize you're not in control. You're being controlled by your own illusion. You're not omnipotent. You're human. And the beauty of humanity lies in interdependence, not self-sufficiency. At that moment, you release the weight of the world and begin to walk lightly, knowing you don't have to carry everything alone. If this chapter made you question the illusion of control you live in, comment 888 to seal your commitment to true autonomy. Like this video so it reaches those who are burning out because they believe everything depends on them. Subscribe and activate the bell for the next chapter. Share it with someone who believes that being strong means not needing anyone. What if your feeling of loneliness wasn't a fact, but an illusion created to isolate and possess you? What if the most intelligent enemy in the world didn't make you feel abandoned, but rather specially chosen to suffer, convincing you that no one can understand your pain? Today, we'll reveal the cruelest tactic of possession, the illusion of loneliness. Stay with me until the end, because there is a moment, and it could be now, when you realize you're not alone. You're being kept in a bubble where only the enemy's voice can be heard. Have you ever felt like you're the only one in the world who feels what you feel? That your pain is unique? Your struggle is incomprehensible? Is your story unrepeatable? This sense of exclusivity isn't empowerment. It's imprisonment. The clever enemy knows that if he can convince you that you're the only one who can understand your pain, you will isolate yourself from everyone else, because you believe no one else can help you. He doesn't want you to feel abandoned. He wants you to feel special for suffering. Let's look at the first sub-niche, the illusion of unique pain. The enemy doesn't tell you you're weak. He whispers no one feels what you feel. He makes you believe that your pain is so deep that no one else can understand it. You're different. Only you know what it's like to go through this. No one will understand you. This narrative isn't true. It's a trap. Human pain is universal, and the beauty of connection lies in discovering that, even if your experience is unique, your pain is shared. You're not alone. You're just disconnected from those who can understand you. Second, subnisha, the burden of self-sufficiency. The enemy doesn't want you to ask for help. He wants you to believe that asking for help is weakness. He convinces you that if you need someone, you're flawed. You need to be strong. Don't show your vulnerability. If you ask for help, they'll judge you. This self-sufficiency isn't strength. It's isolation. You stop seeking support because you believe you're alone. And in the process, you exhaust yourself trying to be everything to yourself. Third, subnisha, the lie of lonely superiority. The enemy doesn't want you to connect with others. He wants you to feel superior for being alone. You're stronger than them. You don't need anyone. You're the only one who understands the truth. This false superiority doesn't elevate you. It imprisons you. You stop seeking genuine connections because you believe you're above them. And in the process, you lose the humanity that connects you to others. Now, the antidote, the genuine connection test. Faced with any pain, ask yourself, can I share this with someone and still be seen? If the answer is yes, seek that person out. True connection doesn't require you to hide your pain. It invites you to share it. Shared pain doesn't diminish. It transforms into empathy. And empathy connects you with others genuinely. We've reached the climax. The moment you realize you're not alone. You're being kept in a bubble of isolation. You're not special for suffering. You're human. And the beauty of humanity lies in connection, not in loneliness. In that moment, you let go of the illusion of loneliness and begin to walk lightly, knowing there are people who can understand you, even if they haven't experienced exactly what you've experienced. If this chapter has made you question the illusion of loneliness you're experiencing, comment 999 to seal your commitment to genuine connection. Like this video so it reaches anyone who's burning out because they believe they're alone. Subscribe and ring the bell for the next episode. Share it with someone who believes that being strong means not needing anyone. What if your sense of control was actually the greatest illusion you've ever constructed to protect yourself? And what if the most intelligent enemy in the world didn't attack you with brute force, but convinced you that you were in control of everything, so that you carried the weight of the world on your shoulders and exhausted yourself trying to be the sole savior? Today, we'll uncover the most insidious tactic of possession, the illusion of total autonomy. Stay with me until the end, because there comes a moment, and it could be now, when you realize you're not in control. You're being tricked into believing you're the only one responsible, which leads to exhaustion and despair. Have you ever felt overwhelmed, believing that if you don't do something, no one else will? That the weight of the world rests on your shoulders, and that any failure on your part will have catastrophic consequences. This sense of absolute control over everything, your relationships, your work, your health, your destiny, is the clever enemy's secret weapon. He doesn't want you to give up. He wants you to try to carry it all alone, to the point of collapse. And when you collapse, he presents himself as the only one who can save you. Or worse, he lets you sink, confirming your belief that it was your responsibility and you failed. The lie of absolute self-sufficiency. The enemy doesn't tell you you are weak. He whispers you are the only one strong enough. He convinces you that asking for help is admitting defeat, that depending on someone else is a sign of weakness. Only you can solve this. If you don't do it, who will? Trust only yourself. This narrative doesn't empower you. It isolates you. By believing you are the only one capable, you close yourself off to support, to collaboration, and, most importantly, to human interdependence, which is the foundation of true strength. You become a general fighting alone on our battlefield that it should be collective. The burden of infinite responsibility. The enemy doesn't want you to fail. He wants you to believe that every failure is your personal fault, and that you could have avoided it if you were smarter, stronger, or more attentive. If only you had seen this coming. If only you had acted faster. If only you had tried harder. This mindset doesn't make you more competent. It holds you hostage to anxiety and guilt. You live in a constant state of alert, trying to control the uncontrollable, because you've internalized the idea that the entire universe depends on your actions and decisions. The weight becomes unbearable. The external approval trap. The enemy knows that if you seek external control, he can easily manipulate you. He makes you believe that your value lies in your ability to manage everything perfectly. You're so good because you solve everything. You're admirable for handling everything. Show them you have everything under control. This search for validation makes you vulnerable. If something gets out of your control, and external things always do, your identity crumbles. You become hostage to a performance that can never be truly perfect. Now, the antidote, the sharing and interdependence test. Faced with any challenge or task, ask yourself, who else can help me with this? Who has been through something similar? What can I delegate or co-create? True strength lies not in doing everything alone, but in knowing how to build and lead a support network. True autonomy is not being independent. It is being interdependent in a healthy way. Knowing when to act and when to ask for help is the mark of a leader, not a martyr. The moment you realize you are not in control, you are being controlled by the belief that you need to be. You are not omnipotent. You are a human being navigating the complexity of life. And part of that navigation is knowing when to trust, when to delegate, and when to hand over the helm to greater forces, be they other people, nature, or destiny itself. At this moment, you release the weight of illusory responsibility and embrace the lightness of collaboration. If this chapter made you question the burden you carry because you believe you're in control of everything, comment 888 to seal your commitment to true autonomy and interdependence. Like this video so it reaches those who are burning out because they believe everything depends on them. Subscribe and ring the bell for the next chapter, the manifesto of the Unbreakable. Share it with someone who carries the world on their shoulders and urgently needs to learn to share it. The journey has come to an end. But the real battle is just beginning. We have uncovered the world's most intelligent enemy. He doesn't want to destroy you. He wants to possess you. He doesn't want your death. He wants your energy, your focus, your loyalty, your pain, transformed into fuel for his agenda. We've seen how he seduces you with gratitude that turns into debt, isolates you with the promise of belonging, deceives you with the illusion of control, and paralyzes you with the fear of being left out. He makes you believe you are the chosen one, the special one, the only one who can save the world, when, in reality, you are merely the most valuable resource he has found to exploit. But today, the illusion is shattered. The Forge didn't make you to be a weapon in the hands of another. It made you to be the blacksmith of your own existence. The pain you carried isn't a certificate of victimhood. It's proof of your resilience. The loneliness you felt wasn't a fact. It was a cell you helped build, believing it was a throne. Victory isn't in defeating the enemy. That would be giving them the importance they don't deserve. Victory lies in withdrawing your permission, in looking at your life and declaring, this space is mine, this energy is mine, this pain is mine, this purpose is mine. The enemy doesn't want you broken. He wants you docile. And your greatest rebellion is not anger, but sovereignty. The refusal to hand over the keys to your inner kingdom. From today on, you are no longer the battlefield. You are sovereign territory. And sovereign territory does not negotiate with invaders. It simply expels them with the force of its very presence. If you have understood that your life is not a resource to be exploited, but a kingdom to be ruled, this is your final call. 1. The Declaration of Sovereignty. I want you to comment on the word "my" in capital letters. This is not a request for a like. It is your public declaration that you are the master of your life, your energy, and your destiny. It is your vow of independence. 2. The drive for freedom. If this journey has given you the clarity you needed to take back control, smash the like button. Your like isn't just an endorsement. It's your vote that truth is more powerful than manipulation. It feeds the algorithm so this message of sovereignty reaches others who are being subtly possessed. 3. The commitment to vigilance. Subscribe and activate the bell. The journey to sovereignty is ongoing. This channel is your watch post, the place where you sharpen your tools. And remember that your kingdom needs a vigilant king. Don't miss the next defense strategies. 4. The mission of liberation. This video is a map out of the invisible prison. Share with 3 people you see struggling, exhausting themselves for a cause that isn't theirs, or confusing possession with purpose. You're not sending a video. You're handing over the keys to the cell. Remember, the enemy wanted you as a resource. From today on, you are the king. Act like it.